The air in the Academy auditorium was thick with smug confidence. Rows of alien cadets, the finest from the Galactic Union's most advanced civilizations, sat with arms crossed, their expressions ranging from mild amusement to outright condescension. At the front, displayed on an enormous holographic screen, was a rotating 3D model of an archaic human firearm, a ballistic rifle, still reliant on solid projectiles instead of energy beams. A ripple of laughter passed through the crowd. "This is what they fight with," one cadet muttered to a companion. The human delegation, a small group of officers and instructors from Earth's military, remained silent. They were used to this reaction. It was always the same, aliens seeing human weapons for the first time and dismissing them as outdated, primitive, unworthy of a true interstellar force. A senior alien instructor, a high-ranking military strategist from a species with a 1,000-year legacy of conquest, raised a hand to settle the crowd. "We must commend humanity for making it this far, despite its technological limitations," he said, voice dripping with poorly concealed superiority. "But surely you must recognize the inefficiency of these crude instruments of war. No advanced civilization still relies on chemical-based ballistics, much less unguided munitions." Another alien, a student from a species renowned for its fleet warfare, smirked. "The Galactic Union phased out kinetic weaponry centuries ago for good reason. Energy-based combat is faster, cleaner, and more precise. And yet humans cling to metal slugs, tanks, and rockets, as if afraid to evolve." More laughter. The lead human officer finally spoke, his voice calm, measured. "You think our weapons are outdated? That's fine. You think our tactics are primitive? We've heard that before. So let's make this interesting." He stepped forward, arms behind his back. "A war game. A full-scale simulated engagement between our forces and yours." The room quieted. "We'll use our outdated weapons, our inefficient tactics. You'll use your advanced technology, your superior doctrine." He smiled slightly. "If we're as primitive as you believe, this should be a quick victory for you." A murmur spread through the cadets. The challenge was unexpected, but not unwelcome. They'd already won in their minds. The instructor raised an eyebrow. "You're serious?" The officer gestured toward the screen, where a new projection appeared, an enormous simulated battlefield, a neutral world rendered with stunning realism. "Fully simulated. Your forces against ours. You have your AI-coordinated strategy, your energy weapons, your shields. We'll fight like we always have." His eyes scanned the room. "Do we have an agreement?" The alien students exchanged glances, then nodded, some grinning. The instructor waved a hand. "So be it." From the human delegation, no one smiled. They had seen this before. They knew how this would end. The war game began. The alien fleet moved with flawless precision, their AI-driven warships coordinating with mechanical efficiency. Thousands of automated drones filled the sky, their energy-based weaponry primed to eliminate all threats before the enemy even had a chance to react. The ground forces, clad in shimmering shielded armor, advanced in perfect formations, each step calculated by predictive algorithms. Victory was inevitable. On the other side of the battlefield, the human forces deployed in what the aliens dismissed as disorder. Soldiers scrambled to cover, their armored vehicles kicking up dust. Missile launchers locked onto the sky, and artillery crews adjusted their aim. No energy shielding. No AI-driven formations. Just steel, fire, and human instinct. The aliens struck first. Their initial assault was overwhelming, a storm of precision energy beams and drone swarms designed to cripple the enemy before they could respond. Yet something was off. Their targeting systems flickered. Drones hesitated mid-air. Communication stuttered. Within seconds, a ripple of confusion spread through the alien ranks. Their perfect coordination fractured. The AI, designed to handle conventional warfare, was struggling against something unexpected. Electronic interference, brute force cyber attacks, and primitive yet effective jamming systems were disrupting everything. A fleet officer cursed as the targeting reticles on his screen jumped erratically. "What's happening to our systems?" Another panicked voice responded. They're scrambling us. Their technology shouldn't be able to do this. Then the counterattack began. Ballistic missiles, crude and unguided by alien standards, were launched in volleys. Their shields flared to intercept them, except the missiles didn't need to penetrate. Some exploded midair, scattering dense clouds of metallic chaff, blinding sensors. Others detonated with electromagnetic pulses, frying circuits. What should have been an effortless energy-based defense collapsed in moments. The alien infantry, still marching forward, found themselves in chaos. Human forces were nowhere and everywhere at once, using terrain to their advantage, drawing them into tight corridors, setting ambushes. Machine learning-driven battle tactics struggled against something it wasn't programmed to predict: unorthodox, instinct-driven warfare. A squad leader called for air support. There was no response. Their comms were down. The alien students, watching from the simulation room, no longer looked amused. One of them clenched his jaw. They're adapting. Another swallowed. They're exploiting every weakness we didn't know we had. The battle had just begun, but already it was clear. The easy victory they had expected was nowhere in sight. Panic spread through the alien ranks. The flawless war doctrine they had relied on for centuries was breaking apart, not due to superior firepower, but because the enemy refused to fight the way they were supposed to. Their algorithms expected clean engagements, structured maneuvers, predictable responses. The humans gave them none of that. Every attempt to re-establish control was met with another disruption. Their battle AI, designed to process vast amounts of data in real time, was being fed false intelligence, misdirecting entire platoons. The humans had turned the battlefield into a labyrinth of deception, where nothing was what it seemed. Energy shields flickered and died under relentless bombardment. Plasma weapons, so precise under normal conditions, struggled against an enemy that refused to stay still. Infantry found themselves encircled, their towering exosuits rendered useless in close-quarters combat against humans who moved like ghosts, striking and vanishing before retaliation was possible. A fleet commander's voice trembled over what remained of the communication channels. Our drones aren't responding correctly. The AI is compromised. A ground officer shouted back. They're using outdated tactics, but they're countering everything we throw at them. They should be broken by now. Why are they still fighting? A brutal reality set in. The humans weren't fighting to hold ground or follow conventional tactics. They were fighting to win, at any cost. They exploited terrain, psychological warfare, and sheer unpredictability. They buried enemy forces under artillery barrages, led them into booby-trapped corridors, and jammed their long-range targeting just as they needed it most. Desperation took hold. The aliens, once confident in their overwhelming advantage, found themselves retreating, their formations collapsing into disarray. Their technology, superior in theory, was proving fragile under the weight of human adaptability. One of the alien students clenched their fists as they watched their forces being wiped out. This isn't possible. We had the better weapons, the better strategy. The final blow came swiftly. A human tactical strike force, unseen until the last moment, delivered the killing strike. The alien command center, believing itself safe behind impenetrable defenses, was overrun in minutes. The war was over. The battlefield went silent. The last of the alien forces vanished from the simulation, wiped out completely. In the observation room, no one spoke. The laughter from before was gone. The lesson had been learned, but too late. The simulation ended. The battlefield dissolved into static, leaving only silence. The alien students sat frozen, their arrogance shattered, their confidence gone. What had started as a lesson in superiority had turned into a lesson in survival, one they had barely understood before it was too late. One by one, the numbers appeared: casualty reports, tactical effectiveness scores, engagement efficiency. The humans had not just won. They had annihilated the opposition. A veteran alien officer finally spoke, his voice quiet but weighted with disbelief. We had the advantage in every way. Our technology was beyond theirs. Our strategy was perfect. A human officer folded his arms. Your strategy was predictable. The realization hit hard. The aliens had fought as they always had, by the book, trusting their technology to outmatch anything thrown at them. The humans had fought with something far worse: adaptability, deception, and the willingness to do whatever it took. One of the alien cadets turned, searching for some kind of answer. This was just a simulation, but in real war, things would be different. Wouldn't they? The human officer didn't smile, didn't gloat. No. It wouldn't. The truth was undeniable. The weapons they had mocked, the tactics they had dismissed, those were the things that had dismantled them. It wasn't the tech that made humans dangerous. It was how they used it. It was how they thought. The instructor turned to his students, his voice quiet but firm. Now you understand why the Galactic Union has never fought a full-scale war against Earth. No one argued. No one laughed. The students filed out of the observation room in silence, their minds still replaying the brutal efficiency of the battle. The war game had ended, but something deeper had begun. The fear that if war ever came, it wouldn't be the humans who lost.